welcome back to the channel. We're doing a comparison between the TIRPITZ and regular TIRPITZ. Secondary mod, steering gear mod 2, concealment, and secondary battery mod 3. You got the enhanced secondaries, you got 6 of those. With the commander I have the BA TIRPITZ, Blue Archive TIRPITZ, my bad. It's the abbreviation of it. But you got the skin, and you got your immunity flag, spec 72,500 HP, and then 28% torpedo damage reduction, 42% chance to set fires on your ship. It's got TIRPITZ guns, the 380mm L52SK C34. You got 4 but 2 of those, 4 turrets, 2 guns in each turret. 16.5 kilometer range, 26 second reload time, 30 second turret traverse, 1.9 shell dispersion or grouping. Max range vertical dispersion 136.7 meters, horizontal is 227.8 meters. Medium max range vertical dispersion 43.2 meters, and then horizontal 72 meters. HE shell damage is 4,400. Muzzle velocity is 820 meters per second. Fire setting chance is 34%. Armor penetration is 95 millimeters. And AP shell maximum damage is 11,600. Muzzle velocity is the same as HE. 729 millimeters of armor at point blank range. 439 millimeter at max range. 45 degree ricochet angle. 60 degree max guaranteed ricochet angle. And then 33 second fuse timer. 63 millimeter armor. Arming threshold for the timer on the shells. 150mm 55 SKC28. You got 10 kilometer range on those. 6 by 2, 6 of them with 2 in each mount. 3 second reload time, 105. Grouping, max range vertical dispersion and horizontal is 441.2. And then for the medium max range vertical and horizontal is 252.7. 1700 HE shell damage. And then you also have 105mm 65 DOP 37s, 1200 HE shell damage. Torpedoes, you got 9 kilometer torpedoes, which is really good, 12,000 damage on this. And then the secondaries are also AA, and then you got other AA. It's not that great. Maneuverability is alright, 850 meter turn and circle, 31 knot top speed, rudder shift times 12 seconds, concealment, 12.9 kilometer range by sea. After fire main guns at 16.5 kilometers. When the ship is on fire, it is 14.9. By air, it's 10.8 kilometers. After fire main guns, it's 18.4, 13.8 kilometers. Whenever the ship is on fire, 2 kilometer guaranteed detectability. Sorry, I can't speak. 13.7 kilometer detectability when in smoke. You got a 50mm bottom of your bow on the front, 32mm deck, 32mm bow. And then you got an armor belt in the front there at 60mm. It's actually really good because when they shoot at the waterline, they don't hit nothing. For the back, there's 50mm on the bottom, 32mm on the deck. And, yep. And then, let's see. Torpedo protection 25mm by 240mm. And then you got an armor belt below the waterline, 240mm. 19mm for the superstructure on the sides. 50mm for the conning tower top and the sides of it. Conning tower bottom's 50mm. And then conning tower sides 150mm by 350mm. 19mm for the whole superstructure armor on the sides. Casemate armor, so the entire ship 110mm by 145mm. Afterward it is 145 by 220mm, and then your armor belt is 160mm by 315mm above the waterline, and then your deck's 50mm by 120mm. That's the reason this ship is really hard to Citadel. For your turrets, it's 130mm by 150mm for the top plate. Rear plate is 320mm, and then the side plating is 220mm, and then the bottom plate that the turrets traverse on and the bearing mechanism is 150mm. The frontal plate's 360mm. The barbette hatch is 150mm, and then the barbette itself armor is 340mm. Do not go broadside in this ship because the Citadel is above the waterline a little bit. It's 110 at the front, 110 at the back, 50 millimeters at the bottom, 180 at the front and back, my bad. Citadel deck is 80 by 100 millimeters, and then 45 millimeter for the torpedo bulkhead. Just don't go broadside, but this is actually really well armored and it's hard to citadel. Secondary reach, above average secondary range, ironclad, above average armor thickness, greater resistance to all forms of armor penetration, tough, above average base HP rating. This ship's design is inspired by Izio, whatever, Naomi from Blue Archive, the most cheerful and supportive student at high school. I can't pronounce that word. I don't want to butcher it like I did the name. But this is Blue Archive TIRPITZ. It's got worse guns, but better secondaries and torpedoes. And there's the commander, the Blue Archive commander. She has secondary reload time, negative 5%, damage against battleships, 8%. We got not one for the nuisance, highly educated crew, or you can go porcupine, punishment time, and then properly meticulous. And then you have secondary interests, a really good perk. And then inspirations, Franz von Hipper and Hans Geiser. This is my secondary build for TIRPITZ, that's what my Blue Archive TIRPITZ is. It does relatively good damage. See, there's the difference between porcupine and highly educated. And then here in a minute, we'll go ahead and get to the regular TIRPITZ. No, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and go with highly educated. Yeah, we'll try that out. And here's the OG TIRPITZ. We have Azurlane Prince Heinrich. We have Flammable Cannoneer, Gyrating Drill Bits, Marksmanship, and then Heinrich's Hunch Punch. Battleship main battery range plus 8%, shell grouping plus 8%. It's a great commander, my favorite one, fight fire with fire. Neuromachi's my favorite inspiration, negative 5% dispersion, so you're guaranteed to get more shells on target. And then the shell grouping is how close they are, how good your dispersion and stuff is. Battleship main battery shell grouping. On this one, it's an accuracy build, aiming system mod 1, steering gear, concealment, main battery reload mod. This one, I have the fighter on there, but you could go to the secondaries, but your secondaries are only 5 kilometers. 72,500 hit points, same as BA TIRPITZ. Torpedo damage reduction 22%, fire resistance 28%. Then here's the good stuff, same guns, 20 kilometer range, 21 second reload time, 33 second turret traverse, 2.29 shell grouping, and then max range vertical dispersion 124.7 meters. Horizontal is 207.9 meters. Medium max range vertical is 32.7 meters. And then the horizontal is 54.4 meters. Maximum HE shell damage 4,400. Muzzle velocity 820 meters per second. Fire setting chance 34%. Armor penetration 95 millimeters. Then you got 12,876 max AP shell damage. Initial is 11,600. 820 meters per second muzzle velocity. 729 millimeters armor penetration at point blank range. And then 402 millimeter at the max range with the build I have. 45 degree minimum ricochet angle for the shells. Guaranteed is 60 degrees. 33 second fuse timer. Arming inertia hold for the fuse is at least 63 millimeters. Secondaries take a big hit, 5.4 kilometers, 8.6 reload time, but everything else is relatively the same. You got the 150s and then the 105s, which is the 105s are dual purpose secondaries. They're also the same as AA, but you can go ahead and take a look over it if you'd like. and then we'll get to torpedoes here in just a second. If you want to go ahead and pause right now, you can, or it's up to you if you want to read over all that. I figured I'd just go ahead and leave this section in the video for you. 533mm Verlings, 2x4, one on each side of the ship, 6 kilometer range, and 64 knot top speed. That's pretty bad. 90-second reload time, 7.2-second turret traverse or torpedo launcher traverse. Max damage 12,739 damage for each torpedo. 1.3 kilometer detectability by sea. 202 meter arming distance. 20mm flak. You got 8x4 of those. 8 mounts with 4 guns in each. 53 damage per second. 2 kilometer range. You got the dual purpose secondaries here, 105mm 65 DOP LC 37, 131 damage per second, 4.5 kilometer range, 37mm. You have 8x2 of those, 8 mounts with 2 in each, 29 damage per second. Then you got the 20mm flak 38, 12x1, 79 damage per second, 2 kilometer range. Sorry, I can't talk for some reason. And then you take a hit for your speed, 28.8 knots, 850 meter turn circle, 12.8 second rudder shift time, and then the rest of this is the same for any battleship. 13.3 kilometer detectability range, a little bit worse with this build. 20.2 kilometer detectability range after firing main guns when the ship is on fire. It's 15.3, that's by sea. 11.1 kilometer by air, and then 18.7 after firing main guns. 14.1 kilometer range after the ship is on fire, and when the ship is in smoke. 2 kilometer guaranteed detectability. The armor is the same. But I really like the German battleships. They have a pretty good build for them. Sorry, had to get a drink. I'll go ahead and let you look over this. Exact same armament. The German battleships have good armor but a weak superstructure, so if you're going up against them, go for the superstructure because they're really hard at Citadel. Unless they're turning towards you and they lift that Citadel up out of the water line, or above the water, I mean, it's pretty easy to slap them. Oh yeah, each match will be in the training room. That way I can give you a good perception on how well or how bad you can do in these ships. So just giving you a heads up before the video starts. Sorry, I'm really hoarse today for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah, see that Citadel's above the water. As you can see, it's right above the water line. You couldn't see it real good on the Blue Archive ship because of the fancy colors and everything makes it blend in with the water. But you can see it real good here on the OG TIRPITZ. I also had the Magnus S camo for this, which is really sick. But I just went ahead and didn't put that on there. But yeah, TIRPITZ is a really good ship. It's one of my all-time favorites. I've got Blue Archive TIRPITZ and the OG, ironclad, above average armor thickness, greater resistance to all forms of armor penetration, tough, above average base HP rating. One of the two mightiest German battleships in the German Navy, akin to the lead ship of her class, which would be Bismarck. TIRPITZ had heavy ship armor, powerful artillery, and a high-speed, weak horizontal armor protection was the main drawback of her design, but this was largely offset by improving her AA defense. Entered service 1941, ship in Series 2. Hope you enjoyed the video today. Please like and subscribe. And here's the first match in Blue Archive, and then we'll get to the original. But if you're going to pick one, I'd pick the original. But if you already got Blue Archive, go ahead and build into the secondaries is my recommendation, because it's really good at secondaries, but the original one's really good with an accuracy build. And then I also got the TIRPITZ Black, I've got it built as a mix of the two, secondaries and accuracy. But enjoy the video. Thank you.
やっと到着です。よろしくお願いしますね。ななみ、行きます。あそこにいるのは敵ですね。覚悟してください。火災が発生中みたいです。あそこにいるのは敵なんですね。覚悟してください。対応完了です。何でも私に任せてくださいね、先生。 敵戦艦を撃沈しました。大勝利です。最高の式でした。さあみんな一緒に張り切っていこう。指揮官くん、敵を確認したよ。気をつけて。敵巡洋艦を発見したよ。アイゼンくん、やっちゃって。火災発生！指揮官くん！対応完了。ほら行こう。 完了。ほら行こう。